Okay, so next we want to talk about why nature is important to us and why it is important for us to connect with nature in the various ways, we can say.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We used to love nature when we were kids, as we have talked about
yeah,
before. And nature was very important to us.
yeah.
For me, I was very connected with animals, especially
Mhm,
horses.
mhm.
So I used to spend a lot of time with the horses and out in nature riding.
Yeah,
And I think there I got a lot of, it was nurturing, and it was good to be there alone with the animals, and
mhm,
somehow got myself some peace and quiet time
mhm.
that wasn't maybe at home.
Yeah. I grew up on a farm as well. I grew up on a sheep farm. So the sheep and the lambs were my good friends, and we had some horses too. And I remember I had a horse that was very difficult to catch out in the wild. So I would spend sometimes hours just singing to the horse out in the wild until it came to me. And I was also very connected with flowers and just to the land and to stones and fascinated about everything about nature. And I always felt like a strong presence or a pull to nature, but I wasn't maybe really thinking about what exactly it was. When I was a kid, I just knew that it was my safe haven to be outside, and that's where I felt the best.
And I think, when I kind of lost a bit of the connection with nature,
Yeah.
there was a time in my life where I was hiking a lot, but not really being present in nature and connecting with nature. But then through spiritual practice, I started connecting with the elementals,
Mhm.
with elves, with trolls, and different beings that are there in different dimensions. But still, I wasn't necessarily connecting with the plants, with the trees, and just opening up when I came out in nature. But I think after my burnout and after we went through this severe life exhaustion, we really needed to reconnect with nature.
Yeah. And I think being in nature and being connected with nature is not the same thing. I also went through a period where I was hiking a lot. I did a lot like glacier hikes, and I was practicing and training in the spring so I could do like a big 11, 12, 14-hour hike in June. And it was all about I was always climbing mountains, but I was never there. I was always just on the clock because I had to be at the peak at a certain within a certain amount of time, so all my concentration was stuck on that. So I was in nature, but I was not connected with nature. And I think we sometimes mix those two things together. We go out walking, we have music or a story or something in our ears that distracts us from nature. I mean, and we sometimes even don't smell nature until we stop and we take things out of our ears and we are really present where we are. So I think one of the things we have to start doing is when we are in nature, just be there.
Yeah.
Don't distract yourself with anything else. Just be in nature and with nature.
And start connecting. And nature does so many amazing things for
Yeah,
us.
yeah.
And we felt through our this period of time where we could barely get out of bed.
Mhm.
When we went out in nature and we managed to take a short walk, we came refreshed back home,
Yeah.
and we felt the healing that happens in nature. And we started going out more, and realizing the all this energy that is out there. And I mean, we live in Iceland. There is so much energy, and there is so much nature everywhere, and the nature is so much alive, even though we have dark winters and all of that, and it can be cold.
It's
But
very primal. I would say
it
the
is, yeah.
nature is really, really primal. We have the fire and we have the ice and we have the water and we have the air and we have like we have great views because we don't have trees that are stopping the view. So, and we have every chance we want to be deeply connected with nature, but we, like everyone else, we take nature for granted, and a lot of us don't take the time to connect with nature. But we have met more and more people now that are feeling like a strong calling in their heart to come back to nature and to go out in nature and to really connect. But And then they come to us and they say, how do I do that? I don't know how I do that. And it's really quite simple. It's just to be there, to be aware, to open your heart, to observe. And that is one of the reasons why we created our meditation bundle, Connecting to Nature. It has 5 meditations. Four of them are just, we can say, sensory practices that you can do out in nature just to feel and connect again. So we created that just as a tool in the toolbox for people that really want to go and experience nature. And for those who are maybe used to being out in nature, there's always a new way to experience it.
There is something new that you can connect
Yeah.
to and connect with, because nature has so many benefits. For me, if I feel stressed, I go outside and I take a walk. I come back and I lie down on the ground. Even though it's raining, or if there is snow on the ground and it can be cold, it doesn't matter. I just allow nature to help me, and I ask her to help me, Mother Nature, to help me just get, let the stress just leak out of my body somehow. It just goes.
Yeah.
And this is one of the best healings that I can have, is just go out and connect and be open and allow nature to nurture me. At the same time, I'm sending love out to nature, and I'm connecting with the different parts of it.
Yeah.
And as you say, just to observe, and that also connects us to the circles we go through, because we have different seasons, and there comes different energy with the different seasons and so on.
And sometimes it's also just about acknowledging. When you step into nature, I have a rule. When I step into nature, I always say hello. I say hello to everyone, for anyone that wants to hear hello, and my heart says hello. And for the first time, it was a bit like I could feel the elementals, and the energy was like, what? She talking to us? What? And now when I do it, especially when I come to a familiar place, it's like visiting old friends, because I can really feel how the love embraces me, and they hold me while I go through the space. And it's just, and even if you can't go outside, I mean, of course, it's always best to go out in nature. But if you're not physically able to do that, you can always call the energy of nature to you. And nature has, I mean, Icelandic nature, you could even tap into that wherever you are in the world. You can tap into our energy, and we can do the same with other places and countries. It's because, I mean, energy is always flowing. It has no boundaries. It has no,
We're only limited by the mind, basically.
They don't have any borders. There's not a wall that you have to, climb over. So it's only about intention.
Yeah. So just imagine what it's like to tap into the creative energy that we have.
Yeah.
With all the, all the movement, the constant movement in the earth here in Iceland. We are both very creative. We love going out to nature and just getting this energy that helps us, that feeds us, our creativity, kind of.
Yeah. Definitely. And I think we should talk about that in our next video.
Yeah.